Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back, another Poem Masters video, and as usual, let's get some daily discount summons in. I don't even think I have gems to do all these. But anyways, if you guys haven't noticed already, on my new overlay, right, I updated it a bit, right? So, Mario on Twitter, right? Fantastic artist, absolutely fantastic artist. Actually drew this up for me, which looks fantastic. It looks really good. So shout outs to Mario for the new. Well, it wasn't supposed to be an overlay. It's just supposed to be, you know, just an artwork, right? But yeah, I had his permission to use it on my overlay. A lot of you guys were complaining about my overlay being I haven't changed it in a while, and well, here we go. We changed it. Perfect opportunity, right? So again, huge shout outs to Mario. I'll link his page in the description down below if you guys want to check out his works. I know he also did like a the truth one that was really nice as well, right? So really great work there. Absolutely fantastic. And then again, shout out to that. All right, so damn, I've been getting shafted on my daily discounts lately. Can we get anything from like the regular one? Well, I guess not. Oh well. Anyways, if you guys do enjoy the content, all that stuff, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's topic. So, what I did want to talk about today is something that they mentioned in their dev letter a few days ago, or well, I guess yesterday. It wasn't that long ago. But yeah, their new dev letter, they talked about, or I think 2 days ago, whatever, it doesn't matter. So one of the, like, they mentioned like a lot of things in their dev letter, and one of the things that actually got me like sort of like thinking what they could potentially do with it, because and that one is, if I could find it, Dynamax, right? Dynamax in development. So Dynamax is, I mean, I don't want to get into like the whole controversy about, you know, the Dynamax, you know, as a feature in like Pokemon or whatever, right? Because I think it's pretty unpopular overall, Dynamax. But I mean, I personally kind of like it. I mean, I don't really like how it plays. I really like a lot of like the Gigantamax designs. I really like Gmax Blastoise, Lapras, Snorlax, Corviknight, Dreadnought. Oh, I love Gmax Dreadnought's design, right? Rillaboom's pretty cool too. I do like a lot of those designs. But I wasn't like, a huge fan of how it, you know, played out in the main series. Like, I guess my biggest like complaint is like the moves there are all the same, and that's kind of boring. But again, I do really like design, and I see a lot of people just immediately writing off Dynamax, thinking, oh, it's gonna be terrible, whatever, right? I don't know, but I would like. We literally do not know how it's gonna work yet, and people are already writing it off because very likely it's not going to work as it is in the main series, because that's not how this game works, right? You can't just bring how Dynamax works from the main series and like just completely just bring it over to Masters, right? That just wouldn't make any sense, right? So in terms of Dynamax, how it's gonna work, I'm not gonna get too much into it, right? But I do want to mention that Dynamax being in the game kind of like was inevitable, right? Because like once they like started introducing Gen 8 sync pairs, it would be super weird if the Gen 8 trainers came in and they just didn't have Dynamax Pokemon, because like imagine just like Nessa without like a Dynamax like Dreadnought or I don't know, whoever else, or Kabu without a Dynamax Sanduscorch, right? It would be kind of weird. It would be kind of weird. Or Mustard without, right? Or no, did I say Dynamax? Gigantamax. I get these two confused a lot. But yeah, they would eventually have the Kun. We don't really know how it's going to work out. There has been, you know, theories that people have been talking about whether it's going to be, is it just going to be like a sync move thing, only on sync move, or whatever, right? But one thing that I did want to highlight that I think could be a really great opportunity is to use Dynamax to bring back co-op, to revitalize co-op, because like of all the things that Dynamax has been in the 8th generation, one of the biggest things in my opinion is that it brought, like, it's a huge like co-op thing in Sword and Shield, right? You know, you know, 4 people co-ops, you know, against big Dynamax Pokemon with like 1 billion HP, right? And Shield and whatnot. And I do think that could potentially be a really, really good opportunity to like introduce sort of like Dynamax raids into this game as a way to bring back co-op, right? So like co-op has been dead in the game for a while now, and for good reason, for very, very good reason. And that reason was the player base hated co-op. If you guys remember, like, there's been like a lot of revisionist history on this one. A lot of people say, oh, remember back in the day when co-op was fun? Co-op really wasn't that fun ever back in the day, right? And it got so unpopular that Dan just had to stall every day. If you check online, the comments all complaints about co-op being not fun. The game needs to expand into single player, right? Single player's more fun. Whatever, right? The single players aren't really useful in co-op, and that's still true. A lot of them aren't really useful. But we'll touch on that later, right? But yeah, people got super mad about co-op, and that's why they kind of stopped doing co-op and expanded more on the single player stuff, which in my opinion was probably the right move, right? I mean, they were losing like players fast back in the day, right? And I think they did make the right move there. However, I don't think like they should like completely abandon co-op, right? I mean, they have like they have Battle Villa co-op, like that's like probably like the only like worthwhile co-op doing in the game anymore, because the EX challenges are a joke right now. They used to be really hard, and they used to be like basically unbeatable if you didn't have like the very specific 5-star cautious sync pair to beat them, right? And they got, you know, nerfed in difficulty a lot, and they're really easily autoable, right? And what Dynamax could potentially bring in the game is to bring back co-op, and like some sort of like they could do it very similar to how like the Legendary Arena is, except for co-op, right? So they could just do it like how they do in the main series in terms of like Dynamax battles, for example. And again, this game is perfect for it because it already has like the basic infrastructure of co-op is not like gone. It's still there. They could just build upon that infrastructure. There are some things, obviously, some issues that they need to fix with co-op, because I mean, there was a reason why co-op was taken out, right? So here's a few issues so far. Is first of all, in terms of co-op, right? People don't really do quick connect or play with friends that much. A lot of the times, you just go in with your own team and you solo co-op it, which again, slightly, you know, oxymoron or whatever, right? Doesn't really make sense. It's solo, but it's co-op, but you're soloing it. But this is just smoother, and it's faster, and you have more control, and you don't have, you know, you don't have to have communication issues with your teammates or whatever, right? You can play with 3 times speed, and that does eliminate a lot of the co-op issues. But again, that's not like actually co-op, right? So they have to like somehow make regular co-op better than the solo co-op, which again is really hard to do because solo co-op just has so many upsides over that, right? Although I do have to say there are some upsides that regular co-op has over solo co-op, which one of them being you could bring multiple, you know, of the same sync pair, right? In solo co-op you can't do that. And if you do have really great communication with your friends, right, that could be better than just the NPC doing stuff, because the NPC they don't control your, you know, sync pairs to the best capabilities, right? However, again, the downsides of the regular co-op is when you're quick connecting, some people troll in there, some people just start the game and slightly underestimate or overestimate their abilities, going in there with, you know, level 30 Pokemon or whatever, right? And I'm not even sure if the player base is there, right, to completely revitalize co-op. I hope it is. I mean, there's still like a lot of people in the game, right? So there probably is. And And the other thing is, it's just so slow. It is incredibly slow. It is incredibly slow, right? And it's not like I don't think the slow is that big of an issue, because I think it feels much slower than it is, just because these stages are incredibly easy. You don't really need to think. You could just, you know, just go in there and pick a move and then like, whatever, right? If they do come out with like much harder stages, you know, when you're spending more time to think about your next move or whatever, or communicating with your teammates, then it doesn't seem as slow. Obviously the speed's still the same, but it's just like it's a psychological process, right? So if they do up the difficulty in that, that could potentially fix that issue, right? As for some other issues with co-op, a lot of sync pairs just aren't good in co-op. A lot of sync pairs just are straight up just not like as good in co-op, right? Especially if you're playing quick connect. If you're playing with friends, there's a lot of, you know, ways that you could work with it, right? However, if you're quick connecting, you just don't know what teammates you're gonna get. You just don't know what teammates you're gonna get, and you know, it's just much safer to play like a specific set of sync pairs, like Red and Sing Suit Charizard, Sing Suit Red and Charizard, right? Probably the best co-op sync pair we have in the game, because you don't really rely on your teammates setting you up, right? Obviously, you can't. Like with most sync pairs, you can't really unleash Charizard's full potential that way. Obviously, you still need someone to throw out Sun, but you know, it's competent enough that you don't really, if your teammates are Potato, you could still do your job relatively well, right? And sync pairs like Morty and Driplim, same thing, right? Or I wouldn't say same thing, but it works very, very well in co-op because it has Pass It On with Stab Boss, which is really, really nice. Guzma, really, really good there as well. Guzma, same as Charizard, or Mightyena, or I guess Fermosa. What are some other examples? Braviary. Nate is really, is relatively good in co-op, right? But like in comparison, like some other sync pairs might just not be, like Mew is just not as good, or say Lance. Or Cynthia, right? I think Cynthia's a pretty big one, right? Because if you're going in Thrandos, you don't know if they're gonna bring in Acerola or not, right? And if you bring Acerola in yourself, you have to switch in and out between those, and if you do switch in and out, your buffs are gone, right? Which is really, really problematic. So they do also have to make it so that like it works with Quick Connect, because the majority of the player base will be playing with Quick Connect, right? Not everyone has as many friends that have enough time, or it's hard. It's relatively hard to communicate with other people to set up a game or whatever, because people have their lives and all that stuff, right? So majority of the games will be played in Quick Connect, and in Quick Connect it's just not as good in terms of communication, all that stuff. Tactics wise, usually it's just gonna be a mess, and just some sync pairs just don't have that great of an advantage. Some sync pairs just are not great in there, right? And that kind of sucks. Right? So anyways, yeah, that's most of what I wanted to I need to finish Battle. I forgot to do Battle, whatever. Well, I mean, I did it, I just forgot to finish it. But yeah, that's mostly what I want to mention today, right? Again, Dynamax could be a really, really great opportunity to revitalize co-op, but they have to do it well, right? They can't screw it up again, and then everyone, hates co-op, and then they just shelve it again. Because again, co-op, it's hard to do. It's hard to do, right? There's a lot of factors. There's a lot of, not just game design-wise, but there's a lot of human factors, right? That could potentially make it great or not as functional, right? So anyways, that's me for this one, I guess. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me guys think in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video, subscribe to our channel for some more Pokemon Masters content. I'll see you guys in the next one.